الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. Now we have a very exciting class today, inshallah. Exciting for me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. I wish we could have continued as we were, but that's how it is sometimes. Our brother Abu Rumaysa, Abu Sabir, asked an important question. I forget what class it was in. It was in the Arabic, everyday Arabic class. Catherine. Last class. Last class. He asked, what is, we took Kaf at Tashbih for resemblance. And he asked, what is the difference? And I said, it means like. And then I said, like myth also means like. And then we mentioned the ayah of Surah Shura, where Allah said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. So I told him, I don't know the difference between the two. I had to look it up and research. So I forgot. And then today, he asked me again. So I looked it up. And it's amazing. So kat means like. And mithlu means like. However, the difference between the two is that the kat is used to create a similitude or a likeness in the characteristics, the qualities of two things. For instance, if I say, Ilyas ka'asad, say Ilyas is like a lion. I'm talking about in his bravery, in his courageousness. I'm not saying he looks like a lion, right? Or that he is like a lion, wild, and like that. The actual lion. I'm talking about this specific characteristic of the lion. So I'm resembling his bravery to the bravery of the lion. If I say, Ilyas mithlu Mika'il, then it means that I am saying he is like him, physically and his qualities. So kat is used to use the resemblance of qualities or characteristics when mithl is used for actual resemblance. Huwa mithlu abihi. He's like his father, meaning he looks like him, he behaves like him, he's like his father. Huwa ka'abihi, then he's talking about some specific characteristics concerning his father. Now, we'll go back to the ayah. Allah used both. So here, Allah negated anyone being like him in his characteristics and negated anyone being like him in himself, in his essence. So there's nothing that has the characteristics of Allah, nor there's nothing like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Laysa ka'mith. Laysa ka'mith. So that was the benefit. So today is the day of review. Today is the day of review. Excuse me, but you can say a test. Starting from lesson 1. Lesson 1. Who remembers what it was? The first lesson we took. How do we assess the value of the thing? You're up. Teach us how to assess the value of the thing. And what came after that? What is the language? So you're going to break down for us. How do we assess the value of the thing? You want to explain to us like we've never heard it before. How do we subdivide the thing? You're gonna explain to us. No, the next after that was how do human beings communicate. Then after that was what is a language? Those are on you. Elias, فليتفضل. This is your chair for the lesson. If you can sit, stand. And get up, give salam to the class, That's not right. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. You said it, yes. I don't say salam. Time's your first time. Remember, you're teaching us. So you're teaching us these things. How to assess the value of a thing, how humans communicate, and what a language is. We're depending on you to teach us.
There's 3 types of language.
Huh?
3 types of language.
None. What is the language? The language is break down into 3 types.
Well, I have to say, but not
Like
the
it-
actual answer that you think.
How you want to teach us. But in the beginning, you should actually try to stick to it. But if not, it's okay. Just try. You have room to innovate.
So.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where's this thing. You think that less I can tell you, but that is kind of like.
You're teaching me. You're not asking me. You're not learning from me today. I'm learning from you today. You're teaching me. So you cannot be speaking a question format. You can't use any interrogative articles. You're supposed to be teaching us. You can ask us, but you're supposed to be teaching us how to assess the value of the thing. So that after the class, we understand now how to assess value. I know it's new. Relax, breathe deep. You're going to be okay.
So this question, or would you have to like give an example of how you would assess the value of the thing? Also, like
Teach.
uh,
Teach. If that's what you do as a teacher, that's what you do.
um,
You're trying to make sure we understand.
yeah.
Oh, to assess something is basically to judge it, to give it a grade, to give it a I don't even say
Yeah.
word. To give it a
It's tough.
to give it a grade. You know, that's what it is. You grade, is this grade A, grade B, is this good or bad? That's all. Doing it in the system. Like somebody gives you something to eat, saying, how did you like it? How did it taste? And then from there, you'll let them know. So you're assessing. It's okay. You're fine. You're with your brother. Okay, let's leave that part. Go to teaching us the way humans communicate.
Right. Wait. Gestures. Gestures. Signs.
So let me ask you this: then. Have you ever given a presentation in school? No. Not really. Okay, let's see. Same subjects.
Wait, you said highway.
How does this evaluate everything? The way humans communicate. What is language?
What is the language? And then
No. How does this evaluate everything? The way humans communicate. What is language? Yeah, you can take that up there too. How does this evaluate everything? The way humans communicate. What is language?
it's also the
What is language?
Alright,
Okay.
well, today I'm gonna teach you how to assess the value of a thing. Well, and then, this is how you assess the value of a thing. You. Stop. It's by the ease or difficulty it is to replace a thing. That's how you assess the value of a thing. And the way humans communicate is
So instead, you said if something is easy to replace or difficult to replace, that's how you assess the value of a thing?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
like if okay, if you have a family portrait or a photo or that, it's gonna be harder to replace because it means more to you.
Hmm.
And then say you have old pair of shoes. If you get rid of them, it's not gonna mean too much to you. And then
So it's so you're saying that if it's sentimental,
Yeah.
it means more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the way humans communicate is by language, gestures, symbols, sounds, uh, That's it. And then, what is a language? A language is a group of gestures, symbols, sounds, that make up like words or directions or anything like that. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, okay, so we have that. The divisions of language. What is a letter?
Divisions of language.
Divisions of language. What's a letter? What's a word?
So the characteristics of a letter? The characteristics of a letter?
The division of language. What is a letter and what is a word?
So the three types of languages?
Division of language.
We can take the division of the language.
You,
We took the division of
I
vocabulary.
can't answer your question. All I can do
I
is say
know. I know.
division of a letter, division of language. What is a letter and what is a word?
Okay.
Now we're basically it's semantics. We're saying the same thing.
Right.
That's as far as I'm gonna go with it. So division of a language. What is a letter and what is a word?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, so
Instead of the haq.
today we're gonna go over the divisions of a language. So languages come in three types. Okay, so we have languages that are spoken and written, like English, French, I'm trying to think of some Arabic. Okay, so Arabic, and we have Hebrew, and then we have Spanish. So those are languages that are written and spoken. Then we have languages that are spoken but not written. So that would be mainly like Latin would be one of those. Because it's spoken but it's not written.
Latin stuff.
Latin is only written on our medicine, but it's not as like we don't write it to communicate, do we? Do they? Okay, so not Latin. So a language that's spoken and not written, I think it's what was that brother's language?
Mandinka.
I think Mandinga, Swahili. No, not Swahili. Mandinga. Let's see. I'm not vast on my languages knowledge. So the third type is not spoken but written. So that would be like hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics. What else is Latin? Okay, so Latin is written but not written but not spoken. Okay, so those are the three divisions of language. We have the first one, language is going to be first division is spoken and written. The second one is going to be spoken and not written. And then the third one is going to be not spoken but written. Okay. So you said the next one we're going to learn today is what is a word? Okay.
What is a letter?
What is a letter? So a letter is a symbol, a shape, and a sound. Right? So we have, in order to have a language, you have to have these three main components when it comes to the alphabet. You have to know what it looks like. You have to know the shape of a thing, and you have to know the sound that it makes in order to form a letter. And what is a word? a word is a group of letters and used to make a sound. I believe in correct things. And that was it, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Jazakallah khair.
Right, yeah. Okay. After that, we had the three, in order to master a language. You need three things to master a language. And then after that, we had the division of vocabulary. Three things to master a language and the division of vocabulary. You're up. Yes. I wasn't going to name. There? I said, yeah. Yeah.
Please, to do more person, kind of this.
He was up already.
Okay.
He was up already. Where's where is he? Oh, no, where is he, but
I just, you're talking with the people. Are you going to do this table or?
we'll do as much as we can.
So,
You want to talk about the three things you need to master a language? In the division of vocabulary. The division of vocabulary.
when did we take that?
You remember? Does anyone remember? Wait, what was your question? The three things?
That was just said, I remember that.
3 things I master a language.
Yeah, three things you need to master a language and then divisions of vocabulary.
I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember taking that.
Yeah.
It's here.
It's in front of you, right?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
You guys,
understand.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, so the 3 things you need in order to perfect a language. Will be number 1 is proper pronunciation. Number 2 is sentence structure, and then vocabulary. Okay, so the 6th division of vocabulary, we have 1 is general vocabulary. And when we say general vocabulary, we mean things that we need to use in our daily life in order for us to communicate. And that's with any language you want to learn. So that's going to be the general vocabulary when it comes to the division of vocabulary. Then we have words with meaning. We have words with meaning like table, chair, doctor's office, you know. And then we have tool words, which if you just say them by themselves, you have no meaning. In, on, for who, what, where, why. But without 2 words, you won't be able to even make a sentence. So these words are needed in order for us to make a sentence and to communicate. So without 2 words, we would not be able to, I can't say door, table, eat. Right? I would say you have to go to that door in order to find your table, and then you can eat. So you have to use all together, okay? And then you have specific words, right? Specific words are words that are used specifically for a thing or in a specific field of work. Like, for example, a doctor has jargon and language or terms that they use that's specific to that. He can't go to a mechanic and say, can you use this scalpel to fix my car? Right? And the mechanic's gonna be like, we don't carry scalpels. I barely even know what a scalpel is, but I got this monkey wrench. Can you fix a heart with this? So these are words that are specific to each job between a doctor and a mechanic. Number 5 would be active vocabulary. So when we say active vocabulary are those words that you just, it comes to the top of your head.
Mhm.
When someone says it, you automatically know what it means. When someone asks you a question, the definition of something, you already have it because it's an active vocabulary. Right? Like, for example, when somebody gives you the slam, someone says, Assalamu alaikum, you automatically say,
Salam.
Inshallah.
Mhm.
All right, and then number 6 is inactive. So inactive vocabulary will be the vocabulary that you rarely use, right? So when someone asks you a question and you're like, you can't think of the word, you say, I know what it is, but then you don't know what it is because you can't actually get that word. That's inactive vocabulary. All right, what's the last one? Okay.
Okay, next. The pure consonants, for instance. Pure consonants. These are those.
Why you there? I should know this one.
Okay. Skip something.
No.
I had a tough watching you. I can't find you. Remember those things?
Pure, yes. Reverse.
What's the consonant?
Like,
What's the first one we learned?
like consonants?
No.
Consonant, consonants.
Consonants?
Yep. Those are words. You can't have a word without.
Oh,
You got it in your notes, you read from your notes. It's just,
I can't find it.
okay, anyone else have any pure consonants?
On consonant, when you can use like the. You, wait, no. Me, no.
As soon as I get up, y'all gonna be mad.
Two,
Cause y'all gonna be mad, cause y'all are.
I think so. Huh? Huh, what is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
oh, would I be?
Yeah, pure consonant. Because the teachers don't understand what it is. Don't just get them to say bad, but teach us.
Then you guys are talking about English.
Very glad.
That's not why they will.
Walaikum salam wa
Wow.
rahmatullah. Come to something, yes.
So we're gonna be learning about the pure consonants and we use them. So you know, the first consonant is ba, and
What is a consonant instead? I'm sorry for yelling. What is a consonant?
consonant is given letter that you can have. A letter that you can make that you have to use the roots of the word.
You telling me? I'm asking you.
And the first letter was half.
What does bad look like?
Um, uh, the sound of that is but I don't know how to explain it, but you just it's like a but like that and then that and then the third sound of that is and the Abba, and then the second letter is ta.
Why do you say ab but and not ab?
And uh, very unfortunate. So, and then the third one, bad is and then the
Is it ab or abba?
ever.
No, why is it abba?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Finish this thing.
And then the second one is ta, and the sound it makes is and the third sound is ends. Would anybody like to know what it is?
Yes, it's that gracious.
And the third letter one is spell. The sound it makes is you don't let your tongue go long way through one, but you can to it. Which you make long through tongue and in between your tongue and teeth. It's like this. Fourth letter is Q. And the second, and the sound it makes is J. And third sound it makes is edge. And the fifth letter, which is the fifth letter is I, and you have to like the sound it makes is, and it's like something like a little thing isn't touching your throat. And you have to like make it really strong. It's like sixth letter is fall. And the sound it makes is it's a little stronger than shadows. It's the swan sound. And that was it. Yeah.
That's that. You go with each other.
The consonants,
Yeah.
not vision. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته أستاذ محمد.
So, I'm gonna be telling you guys about the consonants, and then after fall, we have that.
You don't have to worry about the artist.
Then, in the sound that makes is then the. Can you guys please stop talking?
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
When you guys keep on doing that, then I have to take you guys out of class. Please, I don't want to do this, so you guys can listen and learn. So the sound that I make is that
Yeah.
and then Jeff has had maybe respect in the class.
He was leaning towards me. He was leaning towards me. Please, Ustad, can I sit? I want to learn. He's leaning towards me.
Let's have one more chance.
Okay.
So it makes that the sound that it makes with that yes,
That's special.
yes. The sound is that the chef has any interest, which is, so the sound like that makes is that she said, it's that the yes. And after that, it's raw. The sounds of all makes is raw, 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 raw. And then after that is right. Then it's right as. And then after right. She was seen. And the sound that it makes is s. And then after it's she. The sound that it makes is sh. Sh.
Oh, there you go. It goes to the. Mhm.
And then
Yep.
then after it's sold,
Mhm.
the sound that sold makes is sauce. And then after the dog, the sound that it makes is dog, other. And then after is dog. And then sound that dog makes is dog, other. Then is dog. The sound that dog makes, sound dog makes, the sound that dog makes is no, on,
Elm.
on.
Thank you, Ustad.
So I'm going to.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Today I'm gonna be teaching you the rest of this. Right, and then the next letter is fine. Yes. The sound that it makes it up. And then we have line. And then there's go out. Then after line. We have sad. That's S. And then pause. Fall out, out, and then we have that. And this, wait, that makes action. And we have only lose L. Now we have name. Miss N month, M. And we also have moon. It's moon N. And then we have wow. Wow, it's worked out. That's good. That's good. I think it was right. And, and then, yeah. I forgot to say. Uh, 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 and then, yeah, and, yeah, that's it.
So I shocked you guys today. On purpose. That's how it goes. This is the responsibility of educating. So you always have to be prepared. You never can think that you're going to get to review and look at the notes because the information that may be requested for you may be pertinent. It may be so important that it has to be ready at that time. You can't go look in the book, you can't go research, you can't Google. What are you going to do? Because of us being affected by modern times, we're sitting in this type of setting right here. And also it's beneficial in order to actually put it there. But there's a better setting, which is sitting out there. Why? Because the language that we're learning is nothing like any other language. I'm not going to say any other language. There's only one language that I know that is similar to the Arabic language in its importance, and that's Hebrew. Right? And I'm talking about that's in active use because these two languages are languages in which people use to learn their religion. Every other language is simply for communication. But Hebrew and Arabic, both parties that use these languages, they use it to read from the text, their religious scripture was revealed in. The actual language that the religious scripture that they believe in will reveal. So when we're talking about knowing Arabic, also we do want anything that we learn and benefit to be a legacy. And nothing can be a legacy if it cannot be transmitted, if it can't be passed down. It stops at the last person that disseminated it, that transmitted it, that spoke about it. If that person then does not have people who are going to receive that information and relay it the way they received it, is going to die with him. That's it. It's the end of it. That's the end of it. I think about it like some old Shaolin martial arts or something like that, in which if the instructor didn't have students, that style is gone. Nobody knows that style of martial arts or whatever like that. And that's with any type of knowledge. If the knowledge is not passed on, what? It dies with the last person that knew it, that to the best of their ability perfected. So you have to be serious about going through your notes. You have to be serious about making review. We talked about the story of the scholar who was robbed. He was in a caravan and he was robbed. The whole caravan was robbed. They were traveling to Arabia, and then some highway robbers came with their swords and everything, and they stuck up the caravan. And in that caravan were the manuscripts of that scholar. He was stressed out. Everything they had been writing for over 20 years had been taken. Everybody else just left. That scholar said, I can get my manuscripts back. So he followed behind the thieves, until he found their hiding. He was bold enough. That's how important his manuscripts were to him. He was bold enough to knock on that door. Listen, I was part of the caravan you guys robbed. I'm not worried about the money. However, I've been studying for over 20 years, and my manuscripts of the data that I've collected are in those manuscripts. All I want is my manuscripts back. And then he learned a very serious lesson from the leader of those thieves. The leader of those thieves came out and said, what is it he wants? I just want my manuscripts. You can keep the money. I just want my manuscripts. So he said to him, so you're telling me, as long as these books, these manuscripts in your possession, you are a scholar. And now that they're not in possession, you're just like everybody else. So he realized the importance of committing everything that he learned to memory meticulously. Meticulously, precisely. So anytime you're in a situation where you're receiving information and that information is important, you can begin by writing, no problem. However, it has to be all of it, or the most important aspects of that lesson has to be recorded to memory. That which is academia is recorded to this brain, this intellect, the intellect that's in your brain, that's inside your skull. The information that's of spiritual value is recorded to this intellect that's in your heart. So anything that's academia is going to go here. Math, science, geometry, geography, all of that stuff goes here. Your belief system, faith, and everything, prayer, supplication, fasting, that information goes here, but it locks in. And many people see the result, but don't see the process. The best way to commit something to memory is repetition. Repeat it to yourself. Repeat it to others. Repeat it over and over again. You guys are young, and alhamdulillah, you grew up Muslim, but for us that didn't, we had things that we till today still committed to memory by repeating, listen to us, it depends on the age of the person in the room. Take the tape, we had tapes. I'm old enough that I had tapes. I'm not old enough for HVACs. I'm old enough for tapes. We had a tape, magnetic tape that could record sound. And then we would play the tape. Song would play. And then you stop and you rewind. Hold on, what did you say right here? And then you repeat it. You rewind, oh, what say again? And then when you go out, after you finish listening to it, you go outside, talk to your friends. Oh, he just said it, and then you heard what he said, and you repeat it. And next thing you know, here it is. 40 years later. You can say it as if you just listened. You haven't listened to it in 40 years. And you still know it as if you were listening to it yesterday. And that's with anything. If you dedicate yourself to it, repeat it, you'll know it just exactly the way it's. Right? So, if we can do that with songs, cartoons and movies that we saw. No, what about the part? Listen, remember when we walked in the door and the other hour, we tell those stories, I think we wrote the script. So don't say, oh, I can't do it. That's hard. How did you memorize all that? No, how did you memorize all that? A whole lot of you memorize yourself. But you have to choose what you're going to commit to memory. If you're going to commit things to memory that they don't benefit you in your spiritual life, they don't benefit you in your worldly life, then how? So, and they don't benefit you in your worldly life, what's the point of it? One of the major things that disable us is spending time in things that don't benefit us. And one of the worst forms of it is the one that seems the most harmless. Entertainment. Entertainment. Things we watch, listen to them like that, and we're entertained. But when we come out of it, I know nothing more about my Lord, about my religion, and I didn't even make money. I did that for 2 hours. I didn't get closer to Allah, and I didn't make money. What am I doing? It didn't get me physically stronger. It didn't get me mentally stronger, emotionally stronger, financially stronger, spiritually stronger. What am I doing? So, I'm not saying that everyone will be able to cut all of those things off. But now that you know that that's the issue, you should be able to cut it down. Decide how much time you're going to give to something that you know for a fact is of no benefit to you. That's the decision you have to make. How much time am I going to give to something that cannot benefit? And how much time am I going to give to that which benefits? I like to tell the story. I've told it in Maryland, Virginia, Philadelphia. The story of a commercial that I used to see. Everybody know about Honda cars, right? Years ago, Honda had a commercial. Car comes riding down the road, then it drives off into the sunset. They had a very, very deep statement. It was so deep that I was maybe 9, 10 years old, and I realized how serious that statement was even then. That's why I held on to it. The car rides off into the sunset, and then it says, Honda. Life is not a spectator's sport. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. Deep, right? It's a car commercial. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. So, it said life is not a spectator's sport. What? And we're not talking about halal and haram right now. We're just talking about benefiting from our own time and our own faculties. What do we get out of spectating? What do you get out? Football game, when you finish spectating. I would say nothing. You say what?
Entertainment.
Entertain.
They just can learn something that they did.
Right?
But from soccer, if you lose some soccer skills, and then you can learn it.
Want to be a soccer? But if you're not, if you're just going to be a spectator, know for a fact that you did not get anything out of it with entertainment. What is the meaning? So we say entertainment. What does enter?
Going to like go do something or go to do something for
When you enter, you become like
I'm doing this right now.
you go
This
into
is not something I wanted to. So you're going into. We know what enter means. What does tame mean? Somebody look up tame.
like
Somebody look up tame. What is tame? I never looked it up before. It's my first time doing this. I don't think that I'm prepared. I'm not prepared for this. What is tame mean? And then what is meant? Let's find out what they got us getting into.
no, when I look at the word tame, it just it's talking about some a thin tin plate comes from the root letter in Latin. Has the meaning to hold, right? Hold. Yeah.
And then the suffix meant.
Tame.
So enter.
Hold.
hold.
It says meant is, let's say,
Forming nouns and expressing the means or results of an action.
Results in action. Result. When action.
Present.
It's a little into.
Just going to.
To go into, yeah. To go into. Into. Yeah. So we've been we're being held inside of the results of other people's actions. Anybody have a team? Soccer team, football team? Anybody have a team? What's your team?
I'm gonna do nationals.
Who?
Nationals.
What do they play? What country?
Like the US.
They're in the US? Nationals? Soccer team or what?
Soccer.
Soccer team. National. You have a team? Team? Okay, the nationals. So why do you believe that's your team?
Because I play with them and stuff.
You play for them.
Yeah.
That's your team that you actually play for.
Yeah, I know about to join.
You're about to
The
join.
last team I played for was Farm Soccer.
No, I'm talking about the team that you root for.
Oh, what I root for?
Yeah, professional team.
Real Madrid.
You have a team that you like watch and that's
Real Madrid.
no.
people
Huh?
said no.
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, the Spain, right? Okay. Why do you believe that that's your team? The team you refer to, that's your team. Why do you believe Madrid is your team?
Because I like the way they play.
Just like the way they play. Okay. That's understood. That everybody that has a team, I used to have a team. No, number one on team.
Meant, it's kind of like a Latin word to mind. Mind.
So it means mind, not result. Mind. So that word that means mind.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Mind. Now it's heaven. Now it's heaven. So entertainment into hold of the mind. That's what entertainment is. That's real.
Distraction.
Distraction. The surah that I read, that Allah guided me to Islam and caused me to take the Shahada, is Surah 102. Who's familiar with Surah 102? It's called At-Takathur, piling up, increasing. I read that, I said, I need to read this. It goes Al-Haakum. Al-Ha is from Ilha. Ilha is an Arabic word, means distraction. Allah said, Al-Haakum. You all have been distracted at the Takathur by piling up, amassing wealth, fame. حتى زرتم المقابر. You're distracted by piling up and gaining worldly things until you visit the grave. Until you visit the grave. It's as it's said in the Athar, الناس نيام فإذا ماتوا استيقظوا. That people are sleepwalking, and when they die, that's when they realize. So, entertain into whole of the mind. So this is what it does. So now, Madrid, you like them, but the reason they can't, you have a Madrid jersey. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the difference between that being your team and it not being your team. What is one of the players of Madrid?
That play right now.
Yeah.
Used to play.
Play right now.
Vinicius Jr.
Okay, that person right there, that name right there. Say, so he wears the jersey, the team jersey, right? So now the difference between you and him is that they paid him to wear their jersey. Or you would pay them to wear their jersey. So when you're actually a team member, when you're on the team, they pay you to wear the jersey. When you're not on the team, you pay them to wear the jersey. That's how that you know you're not playing on the team. So unless you're actually playing on the team, you're not part of the team. But everything that you do, watching and rooting and all, it benefits them, but it doesn't benefit you. So that's the team. That's the difference between the actual team member and spectator. Spectator. So do not live your life watching other people live their life. Imagining if you had their life. Movies, sitcoms, dramas, all of that stuff. People, and now they have what? The camera they follow people around.
Oh, reality shows?
Yeah, reality shows. You have a real life. You have a real life. How could you abandon your real life to watch somebody else's real life? And stuff to watch. Now, we can make this use for fake lives because why? It's imaginary. It's imaginary. So, okay, I'm being entertained. I'm being entertained. So, it's imaginary. So, this is a stimuli. I'm leaving reality to watch something that's not reality, spaceship, this, that, monsters, whatever. I'm leaving reality. Okay, I want to break from reality. But now I'm going to watch somebody's actual real life. I want to sit for 2 hours of my real life and abandon me to watch somebody else's living their life. They're really living. They're making money off my videos. And when I leave, they're not going to give me a piece of information that benefits me. Go watch them argue, call each other out a name. And this is entertainment. So, Shalom God, now on, we will be. I told you guys, there's not going to be a question and answer test or anything like that. It's going to be what? You have to get up and teach what you learned. So I know that you learned it. This is called education. Education, I need to know that you can apply the information you receive. Other than that, what's the point? What's the point? I would have to stand up. We can order some pizza or some smoothie, something like that, and just keep the money going. I wouldn't have to stand up and do all the explaining that I do if it's going. Before we go, we're going to take some vocabulary very quickly. Some new vocabulary. Get your notebooks out. You guys got put on history. It's a lot of them. Get your notebooks out. New vocabulary you learn. Yeah. So we said we're going to take. Okay. There's more. I'm just giving you some of the main ones. Now, these are supposed to be prepositions. This is talking about place. We talk about prepositions that talk about time. Yoma, Layla, day, night, Sabaha, morning, Bukratan, Ashiyatan also, Duhaha, yeah, all of these. Now, there's a few special ones on this board. We have أمام, خلف, فوق, تحت, قبل, ده, بين, wrong. عند, مع. أمام means in front of. The word imam comes from that same word. That's why he leads from in front. Amama, in front of. The ones with red, it can be used to refer to time or place. You can say, Amami Imara. There's a building in front of me. And you can say, Amami what? I have time ahead of me. Time. That's why you say I have time. Amami what? I said, kid. Are you busy? Are you in a rush? I can time. Yeah. Me what? Huh?
Say the word.
Go
The word.
on. Amami. Okay. The same thing. Khalfa, behind you. Behind. That means behind. Right? Like in Surah Allah Ta'ala said, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. He knows that which is before them, meaning everything that took place before man was created. وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. And what's going to happen after that. Right? So that's not for a word for her in a place, that's for the time. But at the same time, you can say, ain't it sayana خلف العمارة. خلف العمارة. It's behind the building. Where's your car? It's behind the building. خلف العمارة. Behind the building. So that means behind. فوق. فوق also means what? Above. Above. No. Means before. You can say دخلت قبله. I entered before him. And you can say دخلت قبل ساعة. I entered an hour ago. Before an hour ago. قبل ساعة. So they refer to time or place. دخلت بعده. I came after him. Time and time or in place.
Was that first one? جاء قبله.
Huh?
What was the example for قبل?
دخلت قبله. عند. I'm sorry, بين first. بين means between. And بين can be used for many things, tangible things, intangible things.
بعد.
بعد means after. بين means between. You can say, hey, let this name in that. Don't sit between us. And you can say, بينك وبينه. between you and him. Right? And I talk about time and I talk about place. Bang, what happened between you and him? The same way you will use between. Bang, between.
That's a question about Bana.
And huh?
That's a question about Bana. Baini or Bainahum, will you start with yourself first? Or will you start with them first? Or is
The
it proper?
proper and proper speech, you will begin with you.
Okay.
It's not like English. In the English proper speech, you begin with the other person. Right? No, so we just start with you.
Okay.
Baini wa bainu, baini wa baini, between me and you, between me and him. No. Even on supplications, if you're going to mention yourself in a supplication and someone else, then you begin with you. You say, "Oh Lord, forgive me and him, not him and me." You start with you because you want to be saved first, right? A drowning man can't be a lifeguard. Let's start with you. You make sure you're right, and then you help everybody else. Or you help the horse, you can't help you can help. And also, and a lot of times, most of the time it's used for inanimate objects, except when it's talking about a presence. For instance, you say, "Indi Ashraf, I have," because it means with. I'm sorry, and that means with. Right? And it also means to have. So it means with and to have. But you do not use inda except to express your presence when you're talking about a human being. Right? That's used for inanimate objects. You don't say ND DJ. How? That shows like ownership, possession. No, you can't do that with a human being. So you say the other one, which means with mad. Nah. You say Andy, mad. I have money. I have money, right? But you don't say that using so to have or with. Now you can say to mean presence. You could say Abdul Haq Andy. That means he's at my home, he's present, right? Andy, that's if he's in your domain. You're in his domain, you will refer you to yourself. Ana Inda Abdul Haq. But if you two are walking down the street, not in his domain or yours, someone said, what are you doing? I'm walking down the street. They're not going to say عندك. They're not going to say is somebody with you using عندك. They're going to say هل معك. Is there somebody with you? They'll never say عندك. Because عندك means that whoever's with you, you own them. They're your property. No. Somebody with you. You say عندي Muhammad if you're in your house. Say عندي Muhammad. عندي دروس.
Like stationary.
They won't say mine. And because at that point it means presence. Their presence. So you say, for instance, you say, Andy, do you? I have yes. Because at that point, and doesn't mean with, it means to have. The verb to have. You know, in English, the verb to be, the verb to have, and all that. So this is the verb to have in Arabic. And no. And then we have ma. We have ma. Ma, which means with. Right? So you said, so that you would use for what? Animate objects, human beings. And you wouldn't use and most of the time to talk about you wouldn't use ma'a to talk about inanimate objects. You could. It's not totally wrong. You can say ma'i, man, I have money with me. But Andy is more proper. Andy, man. Well, ma'i, Mikai. I use both of them. Andy, man, or ma'i, Mikai. I have money and Mikhail is with me. Now, You wouldn't say, for instance, somebody threatened you. You say, انتبه, be careful. You wouldn't say, معي مسدس. You wouldn't say, معي, a gun is with me. You say, عندي مسدس. Be careful. I have a gun. You would say like that. انتبه, be careful. عندي مسدس. I do have a gun. Like that. So this is the way these are your. Now, inshallah, down the next class, where homework. I want you all to try to connect all of the pronouns to these. Because all of these are connectable for pronouns. These.
Connected and disconnected or just connected?
All of them.
Okay.
All of them. I'll do the first. Amani. Amani. Of course, it's going to be because it's together. أمامنا أمامك أمامك أمامكما أمامكم أمامكن اسمه أمامها أمامهما أمامهم أمامهم. Did you get it? It's awful. So now you're going to take all of them, even the one I just did. And the only reason I'm stopping, but then you know what? We have to at least run through one. We're going to pray. Somebody called me, and then we're going to pray, then we're going to come back and we sit till 9. So we're going to pray, then we're going to come back and do the examples. So let's go first.
Can you explain?
And then we're going to sign off, brothers and sisters, and we're going to sign back on, and we'll just name this 31.